I guess kind of touch back upon your your piece of legislation dealing kind of with the Roe v. Wade issue. And a lot of people are talking about that, and a lot of people are fearful about that. And you kind of hear this kind of dialogue of, oh, well, we're in California, like what, it doesn't affect us. Can you kind of touch upon that thought? And that, that's something I never thought about, is that, people will be coming here to getting abortions, and kind of what other fallouts do you see that?
Yeah, we, in a sense, we are very fortunate here when we're dealing with Roe versus Wade. Before I moved back to California, I was actually living in Dallas, Texas, and practicing in Dallas, Texas. And, when I was there, I just saw everything that was going on even back then. And I was like, this state has a war against women's health. And so we're very fortunate in that. I don't think anyone can say that here in California. But you still have the ability, an insurance company can still say that we're not going to cover this, and you have to come out of pocket. In some rural areas, you still may have to go farther than you would like to go to receive the care in terms that you would need. And so, even here in California, we can still have some improvements. And then, when I saw that, when this last, not this president, but the president before was elected, I started talking to a lot of my colleagues in this space. And I said, what are we going to do? Because I see this happening. I see Roe versus Wade happening. What are we going to do here in California? Mm-hmm. Because this is going to become a place where people come to. And they're going to need our services. We're going to need to beef up in terms of the number of providers that we have that can perform certain procedures. Like I said, we're going to need to also make sure that there's a funding source. So even though we don't have to really worry about it not being available here in California, if we don't beef up some of these things, then either one, your insurance can say that it's not going to pay for it, or two, because we have the mass influx of people from outside, you have to wait longer to get the procedure or the care that you need. And so we've got to make sure that neither one of those happens. Right. And that's why these bills and these discussions right now are so very important.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It seemed like, forever that, Roe v. Wade would never be overturned. And they talk about it and you're like, yeah, but is that really going to happen? And it just seems so surreal that,
I know. I
talking about this today.
I honestly never thought, like 10 years ago, I would have never thought that. But, there are a lot of things that have happened over the last, 4 or 5 years, right, that we never thought would actually happen.
Between 2016 and 2020.
I know, right?
Make sure you just click the button below and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with all our news and updates.
Are called dreamers.